We left from Ponce Inlet. Left out. We got up sunrise. Went down, coastal and got out the inlet. Everything was doing real well. Pretty day. Nice wind. Set a course for 3 miles out at Ponce Inlet. Then took a turn north and went ahead and we had to test the autopilot because it hadn't been tested yet. So we got it up and running and just let the boat take over. And stuck sails up and shut the motor down. And we've sailed along good for, I'd say, it was about 3 o'clock when I asked Helen what time it was because we wanted to check to see how far we were from St. Augustine Inlet. And we had about 30 miles to go. And I guess it was about 3:15. That's when just a big gust of wind, didn't even have no rain in it at that time, but just you could hear it coming, just and the next thing you know, it hit us, and the boat just, it listed, I mean, right like it was fixing to go over. And dang, I come around. I was on the side that listed, and I come around, was trying to get the steering wheel, turn the autopilot off, and get the steering wheel and get the wind to the back of us out of the sails. And there's 2 coolers on deck, and the coolers, when I come around to get the steering wheel, they come down through there, and that's me and the coolers and everything went over to the side, and that's the point where they lost me off the boat. And then that squall, it carried them. I watched them. They didn't go out of sight, but they dang sure were moving. And then didn't have no life preserver on. It hit so fast. You don't really have time to do anything when that kind of stuff happens. It hit so fast, you didn't see it even coming. And then lucky one of the coolers was right there with me, so I emptied everything out of the cooler and put a little water in it, flipped it upside down, and had my baggies on. So I took my strings off my baggies. I just untied them and tied them to the handle real good, and I floated along with the cooler. And it's just, had the helicopters come by 3 times. I was trying to wave at them, which it started getting choppy then, and pretty good swells, and they just couldn't see me, that was all, because I didn't have the right gear on. And dang, so about the 3rd time I figured out these guys ain't gonna spot me. So I just kind of started dog paddling with the current, taking me down, just kind of going at an angle, and I could see land, so that was a good thing. So I just kept dog paddling, and I would rest and dog paddle and rest, and trying not to wear myself out. And just kept on with that from, it was about 3:15 when I went in, I estimate. And then it was when I got out of the water onto the beach and walked up, and I called come into these condos, and walked through the parking lot. Needed to find somebody that could get a phone to contact the Coast Guard, let them know that they could call to search. I made it, and there just happened to be a security guard riding through, and I stopped him and told him what's going on. And so he contacted the authorities. And
how far do you think you were out? I mean, and how far do you think you swam back in?
I would say probably it's 3 miles out. I probably drifted, I'd say at a diagonal angle or something, maybe about 4 or 5 miles.
And you had a cooler or some flotation device?
Yeah,
you
well,
did.
I had the cooler tied
it
to me, and had a string enough where it'd stay off to the side like this, kind of out of my way, so I could dog paddle. And then when I needed to rest, I'd just turn around and hold on to the handle and drift in the water. And
Did you ever think you were going to make it in? I mean, were you confident?
Right at first, when it first happened, I was scared, but once I could see that I was, coming in slowly, I kind of started feeling better. And the closer I got to the buildings, and the more I could hear the breakers, the waves breaking, the more comfortable I got. And
what did you feel like when your feet touched?
oh, it felt good. Yeah, real good. when first wave to pick me up, sucked me up to closer to the beach. Second one carried me in the cooler on in, and as soon as my feet touched ground, I was like, phew, I made it. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody that was looking for me. Dang, just kind of, it's good to know that there's people out there like that, when a case like that happens, and